Good afternoon and welcome to the City Club of Cleveland. My name's Hugh McKay and I'm president of the City Club Board of Directors. We are honored to present today's speaker, the Honorable Frank G. Jackson, the 56th Mayor of the City of Cleveland, for his annual State of the City address. Mayor Jackson is a true Clevelander with a deep and lifelong commitment and passion for the city he leads. He currently lives in the same Cleveland neighborhood where he grew up. He graduated from the Cleveland Public Schools and then served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War. After his war duties, Mayor Jackson returned to Cleveland, earning an associate's degree from Cuyahoga Community College and his Bachelor of Arts, Master's, and Law degrees from Cleveland State University. Mayor Jackson had an extensive record of public service before becoming mayor, having served as an assistant city prosecutor and as a 16-year member of the Cleveland City Council, including service as president of the City Council from 2002 to 2005. The challenges faced by Mayor Jackson are similar to challenges facing other cities and other mayors across the country, so the mayor's remarks today are relevant not only to Clevelanders, but to our national radio audience as well. And his many accomplishments in the areas of public safety, regional economic development, city operations, and revitalization of neighborhoods have become models for initiatives in other cities all across the country. In the area of education, Mayor Jackson has aggressively sought to catalyze positive change for the Cleveland schools. Last year, the mayor, together with school CEO Eric Gordon, boldly tried to get the Ohio legislature to change teacher pay and hiring rules. More recently, with the backing of community leaders and stakeholders, including many of you here, Mayor Jackson, together with CEO Gordon, proposed a new and innovative plan for systemic change in the Cleveland schools. As Mayor Jackson says, we won't give up. On behalf of the City Club of Cleveland, it is my honor to present the Honorable Frank G. Jackson, Mayor of the City of Cleveland.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You know, I want to first acknowledge Cleveland City Council President Martin J. Sweeney, all the members of council, and all other elected officials. And I also want to recognize members of my cabinet, my employees, members of the clergy, and the business leaders who are here today. And I want to thank everyone for coming. State of the City. Today, the state of the city is financially stable with indicators of economic growth. Cleveland is a city that is redefining itself through investments in both economic development and quality of life, and we are well positioned for the future. Our future will be one where Cleveland has the appropriate financial reserves and operates within the revenues projected for that year without the need for one-time money. A future where we are more efficient in our operations and provide high-quality service. A city that offers excellent quality of life to every resident, business, and visitor. A city using investment opportunities strategically to grow our economy and connecting our residents and our businesses to that prosperity. A city with a priority on educational excellence for all students, from pre-K to college, and recognizes that education is the key to our success. This will only happen with a strategic plan that is being implemented, because the best plan that we have is the one that we're doing. Cleveland is becoming the Cleveland of the future because of the work that we are doing today, work that I set out to do when I became mayor, and here are just some of the results in that effort. The work starts and begins with the city finances. I have spent my first few years as mayor stabilizing the organization. Costs were rising and revenues were not keeping pace. We began to do more with less, and as a result, we trimmed costs, increased efficiency, and improved service delivery. Last year's state budget cut of $38 million forced a reduction of expenses throughout our operation, resulting in layoffs and some reductions in service. This year's budget, however, restores services to our recreation centers and playgrounds. It accelerates the call back 20 police officers off layoff, and it provides for enhanced public service for the anticipated increase in activities when the casinos open next month, in May. It includes an enhanced in funding for building and housing to inspect every vacant property in the city this year, a necessity due to the national foreclosure crisis, despite the fact that we've spent $42 million since 2006 and demolished nearly 6,000 structures. Finally, the budget includes a 3% pay increase for city employees as required by the collective bargaining agreements. I want to thank all of my employees for their foregoing wage increases for the past 2 years and the collective bargaining units for agreeing to this condition to help us through the recession. These service restorations and enhancements are possible because we stretched last year's state's budget cuts over 19 months rather than 12 months, and we collected higher than anticipated revenue in 2011, including an additional $9.9 million in income tax, $3.2 million in license and permit fees due to construction activity, and an additional $2.3 million as a result of enhanced collections for fees for service. While revenues generated by construction activity cannot be normally sustained year to year, it did allow us to save our rainy day fund and revenues from the sale of city assets, providing us with a much-needed reserve. These reserves are important as we look ahead to 2013, when we will have a $9.3 million increase in the Browns Stadium debt service and a 27th pay. Now, we normally have 26 pays, and this additional pay will cost the general fund $13 million. The reserves are also used to strengthen our city's fiscal outlook, support our credit rating, and help determine our ability to issue bonds. Cleveland's economy is showing signs of improvement and growth, but we must continue our strong and conservative budget management to achieve our goal of not having to use one-time money and spend only that which we raise in that year, beginning in 2014. In 2006, the city began efforts to increase operational efficiency and become more productive. These efforts are continuing. Now, last year, we streamlined operation by merging the Department of Public Service and the Department of Parks, Recreation, and Property into one department, the Department of Public Works. We reorganized the Department of Public Utilities to improve customer service and increase accountability. We hired a turnaround team to fix systemic customer service and billing problems in the Division of Water and refocused that division on its core mission, which is delivering great water for a fair price. And we began the integration of the Division of Fire and EMS to improve service delivery. This year, we will implement a new performance management and accountability system and focusing our employees on our core mission of high-quality customer service. With this service-oriented philosophy and our record of strong fiscal management, we are building a Cleveland for the future. Our neighborhoods will be stronger, quality of life will be better, and we will have an environment of certainty for businesses and development activity. Companies and developers are investing in Cleveland. The development that are underway today are offering a glimpse of Cleveland's future. These are just a few examples. As you arrived today, you saw the ongoing construction of the Medical Mark and Convention Center. The casino will open in May. The Greater Cleveland Aquarium is open. Flats East Bank is well underway. A new courtyard by Marriott in University Circle, the Uptown Project, and the Campus Village project at Cleveland State are under construction. Businesses from around the country and around the region see Cleveland as a good place to invest. Rosetta, a national firm, moved to downtown Cleveland with 351 employees. Calfee, Halter, and Griswold chose to keep 300 employees in downtown Cleveland. AmTrust Financial will move 1,000 jobs to 800 Superior Avenue after investing $20 million in the property. And the Midtown Technology Park is attracting a mixed use of technology and medical businesses. These businesses and others are coming to Cleveland and staying in Cleveland in part because we are investing in our future, including the tens of millions of dollars that is being invested at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport. Our airport serves as an economic engine for this entire region. It supports thousands of jobs, including the employees of our United Airlines hub, of which we are encouraging all of our regional businesses to support. Investing in our airport supports a much broader economic agenda. Cleveland's economic agenda is forward-thinking, encourages responsible business practices, and includes the city as an active partner in pursuing the economy of the future. The proposed Cleveland Recycling and Energy Generation Center will reduce costs of doing business, increase revenues to the city of Cleveland, and create jobs by increasing recycling and converting our remaining waste stream into electricity. Cleveland Public Power will take 20% of the energy generated from LECO's proposed offshore wind farm, reducing our dependency on coal-produced power. The project will position Cleveland as a national leader in the emerging industry that has the potential to employ thousands in the manufacturing and installation of wind turbines throughout the Great Lakes. These efforts are representative of the goal of Sustainable Cleveland 2019, which is an initiative that will transform our economy into a sustainable economy that will purchase goods and services locally, that is less susceptible to the fluctuation in the national economy, that capitalizes on a growing green and advanced technology industry, and encourages sustainable business practices and responsible resource management. To reach these goals, we have developed a plan that focuses our efforts on particular industries. This year, our focus is on the local food industry, building on the fact that Cleveland has more than 60 acres under cultivation. This focus on local food lines up with the centennial celebration of the West Side Market. This year, the market is focused, and its focal point will be represented in an international public market conference. Now, Cleveland beat out cities like London and Seattle to host this conference because of how attractive Cleveland is as a destination. Major investments over the last 20 years that includes our sports venues, East 4th Street, the Warehouse District, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Science Center, Playhouse Square, and many other venues have helped Cleveland become a unique and world-class destination and are a major part of why the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremonies will be held again here next month, that the United States Marine Corps has chosen Cleveland for its 2012 Marine Week, that Cleveland will host 1,000 athletes in July for the Ohio Senior Olympics and 14,000 athletes next year in the National Senior Games, and Cleveland will host the 2014 International Gay Games and more than 13,000 artists and athletes from around the world. Cleveland is becoming a world-class destination for events, for tourism, and visitors. And with the work of Global Cleveland, we will become a world-class destination for investment and for residents. A major part of the future that I envision for Cleveland includes attracting this type of international attention. But it is vitally important that our neighborhoods receive just as much attention and offer a quality of life that rivals the best neighborhoods anywhere. Early in my administration, I reinstated the city's 5-year capital plan to guide the city's investment in our neighborhoods. Since 2008, the city has spent $161 million through general obligation bonds on streetscapes, park improvements, and other capital improvements. This year, we will spend $38 million on various projects, including Fleet Avenue, which will become a multi-purpose right-of-way that serves pedestrians, transit riders, bicyclists, and motorists. We also know that because of years of deferred maintenance, there's a need to invest in our city facilities. I will be working with our finance director to determine how we can create additional bond issuance this year, backed by the portion of our annual casino revenue to finance up to $50 million to repair city facilities throughout our neighborhoods. Neighborhood investments support retail, the arts, entertainment, and small local businesses. And here are some examples of that. Last year, we broke ground for the shops at Garrett Square in Glenville, which will bring a Save-A-Lot's grocery store, farm and meal store, and nearly 100 jobs. On the near west side, infrastructure and streetscape improvements have supported the Gordon Square Art District, leading to dozens of new small businesses and hundreds of jobs. The infrastructure improvement in new electrical infrastructure CAMs, corners, has resulted in 7 new retail establishments, a thriving farmers market, and a $77 million investment by the Cleveland Clinic at Fairview Hospital. Every dollar that we spend in our neighborhoods is an investment in our future. But we must make certain that we invest in the people who live in our neighborhoods so that they can have the highest standard of living and that it becomes the norm for everyone in Cleveland. Our Community Relations Board, the Cleveland Division of Police, and the Peacekeepers Alliance and other partners are investing in young people and helping young people in a positive future. We're working with in a partnership with the U.S. District Attorney Stephen Dutterbuck and various law enforcement agencies to reduce gun violence in Cleveland's neighborhoods by targeting selected neighborhoods and repeated violent offenders. Safety is not just about fighting crime. Fire safety and emergency medical service are essential to quality of life. In 2011, we lost 3 lives due to fires. Now, while every loss of life is a tragedy, 3 deaths are the fewest number of fire fatalities the city has experienced since we began keeping records. Last year, EMS, Emergency Medical Service, staff provided blood pressure, cholesterol, and glucose testing for 17,000 citizens and provided CPR and AED training for another 4,700 people. In addition, Healthy Cleveland, a partnership between the City of Cleveland, Cleveland City Council, the Cleveland Clinic, Metro Health, University Hospitals, and the Sisters of Charity Health System, is designed to increase the overall health of our community by focusing on nutrition, exercise, smoking cessation, and youth violence as a public health issue. The work that we do every day is having a real and positive impact on our community. Cleveland is able to provide quality service and is financially stable. We are improving our neighborhoods, rebuilding our economy, and moving ahead towards our future. A future that will have a city that has no more east side or west side. A city that will face the lake and everything will emanate from the lake. A city that can be called one city, a truly one city. To get there, we must connect our investments, the numerous nodes of activities throughout our city, and our people in a way that we are all moving towards that future together. This connectivity is embodied in the group plan, formed in 2010 under the leadership of Tony Coyne, chairman of the City of Cleveland's Planning Commission. The group plan is fundamentally a plan connecting people to downtown Cleveland in a way that helps people find their place in the revitalization of this city. Foremost in this plan is the transformation of Public Square into a single unified park. This, along with the mall improvements, will make Cleveland a more pedestrian-friendly and a more sustainable city. The group plan also seeks to link economic vitality of the Central Business District to the lakefront. Now, the lakefront plan proposes 3.5 million square feet in new development and builds upon an existing infrastructure in a way that encourages recreation and entertainment along with commercial, maritime activity and economic development. Funding has already been identified for $1.7 million transient marina at North Coast Harbor and a $5.7 million pedestrian bridge that will connect Dock 32 east of the stadium with Voinovich Park. With the Flats East Bank project, the question of whether or not Cleveland can develop its waterfront has been put to rest. The only question now is what is next. Last year, I stood with the Cleveland Browns when they indicated their intent to be a catalyst for private development and private investment on the lakefront. The Browns are working to ensure a commitment from the Cleveland Clinic, the Cleveland Indians, and the Cavaliers to join in exploring the feasibility of a jointly branded sports performance, physical therapy, and wellness facility on the lakefront. While this proposal is still in the conceptual stage, it will build upon existing assets, complement the work of the group plan, and drive additional private investment and private development on the lakefront. To further support the private development of the lakefront and downtown Cleveland, the city is seeking to leverage current investments through tax incremental financing, TIPS, to help support the cost of public infrastructure and help reduce the overall cost of development. The group plan and the lakefront plan will redefine Cleveland physically, reorient downtown, and connect people to all our nodes of activities. And they will help create a Cleveland for the future, a city that is vibrant and alive 24 hours a day. Our future, however, is much more than buildings and businesses and capital improvement. Cleveland's future is about people and their ability to benefit from the investments that we are making. There's a reported $7 billion in development either under construction or in the planning phase in Cleveland. To make sure that these developments also add value to Clevelanders, we are working towards a community benefits agreement to create a pipeline for employment for residents and connect local businesses with construction opportunities and contracts for goods and services. The group plan, the lakefront plan, and the community benefits agreement are significant steps towards securing Cleveland's future and making Cleveland a city where prosperity and quality of life are inclusive of everyone. But the place where quality of life and prosperity starts is education. Of all the things that I've talked about so far, we'll talk about today, education is the one thing that has the greatest potential for redefining Cleveland and positioning Cleveland in this region for a sustainable future. Each year, I end my State of the City speech with a discussion on education and about how our community should do what our community should do to create educational excellence. This year is no different, except for the fact that I will talk about the decisions and actions that I and others have taken to achieve educational excellence for all of our children. Last year, 15 colleges and universities signed the Higher Educational Compact of Greater Cleveland. Now, I launched this compact with the help of the Cleveland Metropolitan School District, College Now, the Cleveland Foundation, the Gun Foundation, the Greater Cleveland Partnership, and over 40 other organizations. The compact will focus our efforts and our attention on readiness indicators to better ensure that the students are prepared and more likely to be successful. Access indicators to help students receive all the financial support that they're entitled to, and persistence indicators to better position students to complete courses and graduate with a degree on time. Now, our many partners are working on the indicators that are relevant to them. The school district is focused on the readiness indicators, ensuring that district children are prepared to be successful in higher learning and successful in employment opportunities. To help ensure our students are prepared, last year we created the 9th Grade Academy. Nearly 100 students from 12 school districts in Cuyahoga County participated in this program that offered an intense academic and life skills curriculum. The curriculum will be offered again this summer, and in addition, we will be working with our partners such as College Now to provide a college readiness and career awareness intervention. Now, I want to thank the State Senator Nina Turner, the Educational Service Center of Cuyahoga County, Policy Bridge Community College, and the school district for their commitment to this program, for developing the curriculum, finding funding, and making sure that it happened. Now, these are just two examples of how we begin to create educational excellence. However, if we are truly to be successful, we must have systemic change to address systemic problems and recognize that educational excellence comes in different forms from different systems. I'm working towards systemic change with the Cleveland's Plan for Transforming Schools. It's a comprehensive, child-centered plan that addresses every aspect of how we educate our children. Now, I know that there are those who have special interests in education, each with their own constituency, whether they are public schools, charter schools, Democrats, Republicans, or collective bargaining units. My constituency, children. My purpose in working to transform Cleveland School is to better educate our children and give them a better opportunity to be successful in life. And I'd like to take this time to thank all of those who have worked with me and spent a lot of time and effort to create this plan. The business community, the foundations, the school district, and the charter schools. And I'd like to acknowledge the input that I've received over the last couple of weeks from the Cleveland's Teachers Union. The Cleveland Plans for Transforming School is focused on high-quality education, and we have considered both the academic and financial aspect of creating high-quality education for every child in Cleveland. Now, academically, the plan focuses on closing low-performing district schools and reprogramming and restaffing those schools for success. It creates a partnership between the school district and a high-performing charter school, and it seeks to prevent the startup of low-performing charter schools. It also promotes a legislative agenda. That agenda addresses seniority, compensation, evaluation, employment, and termination in a way that reduces bureaucracy and increases our focus on educating children. Now, financially, the plan recognizes the need to be more sustainable in our budgetary process. A levy that will be asked for in this November, and calls for the sharing of levy proceeds with high-performing charter schools with which the district partnerships. We know that there's little or no chance of passing a levy if people are not convinced that they can and should expect a better educational outcome. So we need both the academic and the legislative part of the plan to be approved and moved forward so that the public will know that their approval of a levy will ensure systemic change and lead to educational excellence. This is a plan that addresses the need for academic and financial sustainability. Without both, we will be in academic receivership, and without both, we will be in financial bankruptcy. Without both, the result will be no more public school system, no more collective bargaining unit, and educational mediocrity, leaving our children with no hope and a city without a future. With both academic and financial sustainability, we will triple the number of students in higher performing schools in Cleveland over the next 6 years, and we will improve the educational outcome of every child in the city of Cleveland. In doing so, we will secure Cleveland's future, and our children will have hope for that future. Now, in conclusion, a few years ago, I talked about the need to invest in Cleveland, not only with our money, but with our attitude. Now, we are seeing signs of change, and we can see a good future ahead of us. But I will tell you that it will never happen unless we have the courage to continue in that future and continue to make the decisions we need to make for that future, and not let the opportunity pass us by. So again, I appreciate you coming out again this year and listening to me, and I look forward to your questions.
Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we're listening to Mayor Frank G. Jackson's 2012 State of the City address. We will return to Mayor Jackson in a moment for our traditional City Club question and answer period. We encourage you to go ahead and formulate your questions now. Please remember to keep them brief, and if you think you have a question, you may want to move towards the front where the microphones will be. This year, 2012, the City Club of Cleveland turns 100 years old. We hope you will join the City Club and participate in our momentous year and all the activities that are happening in our 100th year. To learn more about the 100th celebration and to see a full schedule of our upcoming events, please visit our website, www.cityclub.org. We welcome all of you here and those listening to WCPN 90.3 FM, WCLV, WTAM, or one of the many radio stations across the country. Our television broadcast partner is WVIZ PBS Idea Stream. Television broadcasts of the City Club are made possible by Cleveland State University and PNC. Our live webcast is supported by the University of Akron. Today's forum is the annual Dick and Sally Hollington Endowed Forum, recognizing a very generous gift from Mr. and Mrs. Hollington. Joining us today at the head table are Dick and Sally Hollington. Will you please stand and be recognized? We're pleased to have continued corporate sponsorship for today's forum from AT&T. Joining us at the head table is Tom Pelto and Mylena Albright. We're also pleased to have support for this program from the Sisters of Charity Health System. With us today at the head table are Sister Judith Ann Karam and Susan Cray. Would you all please stand and be recognized for your support? We're also delighted to have all the corporations and nonprofit organizations who have purchased tables for today's event. Please see your printed program for a full listing of all our great supporters, and we thank you very much for that support. We'd like to give a special thank you today to Consolidated Graphics and Forest City for their extra special help with today's program. Now we'd like to return to Mayor Jackson for our traditional City Club question and answer period. We welcome questions from any and all of you. Holding the microphones today are Special Initiatives Coordinator Phil Williams and Program Director Carrie Miller. First question, please.
Hi. Just a disclaimer, I'm not from CSU, so don't take my opinion for theirs. Why are we saddling the recycling program with an incinerator project that has no financing, not enough trash, no designer, and we have too much pollution already?
Well, first of all, we're not shackling or saddling anything, and you're making some assumptions. This is about positioning Cleveland for the future. This is about us making decisions that will move us into an area that will cause for sustainability, be environmentally friendly, and also help us to reduce our costs and potentially some revenues. Now, in that process, we are always willing to learn a better way of doing things. But just to condemn something because someone has a feeling or a thought about one aspect of it, I think is short-sighted.
Mr. Mayor, my question is in regards to, first of all, great address. My question is in regards to, we got all this investment that's coming into the city and we improve the city's finances. Right. What is the relationship with the city of improving the infrastructure in regards to roadways and streets in our neighborhoods on the federal level, the state, and the city? Well,
we did a study, a pavement study, and it really talked about, I think it was over $500 million of needs that we have in just in streets alone. Each year we, through our general obligation bond, we finance a way in which we can do street resurfacing, reconstruction of streets, and we work closely with ODOT, Ohio Department of Transportation. And in that process, we have an obligation to fund 20% of whatever that project is. In this year's $38 million, there would be significant investment not only in our 20%, which means we'll get 80% from the state, but there is also a direct bond issuance we do, and we follow council's lead on street resurfacing in the neighborhoods. So capital needs are a big need because whether it's in facilities or roads or bridges, they get a lot of wear and tear, and our deferred maintenance for decades has put us in the position of the needing of hundreds of millions of dollars to make the repair. So we're moving ahead on that, and as I mentioned in my speech, we're looking at least $50 million we want to do just to deal with city facilities beginning this year.
Okay. Hi, Mayor Jackson.
Hi.
You spoke about education, but one of my concerns is we have great universities, even great schools in the area, but once our young people get these degrees, there are no jobs, especially the entry-level positions. If I go to a class reunion in my class, everyone's moved out of state. Everyone's in Atlanta, D.C., New York, Houston. What role do you see the city playing in the future in helping recent college graduates get some of these jobs?
Well, it's not in the future, we're doing now. And what we do is that we, as part of what I talked about today, is how do we better position our investments to ensure that Clevelanders are the beneficiaries of that. A lot of that occurs in the private sector as well as the public sector. And I've learned over the years that many young people have notions about the grass being greener somewhere. And once they find out that the cost of living and the amenities of life are much higher cost of living and not as much amenities in life as Cleveland has to offer, we're finding a reversal of that in young people starting to move back into Cleveland. But it is a factor of creating career paths. That's why I firmly believe that as we invest, whether publicly or privately, we should be investing in a way that is strategic, and one of those strategic outcomes that we want to have happen is exactly what you mentioned. How do we become competitive in an open market for young people who are well-educated, very bright, and have something they want to do? But again, a lot of times we found that after they've done what they've done somewhere else, when they come back to Cleveland, they fully recognize that it's less expensive here, and some of that opportunity that they thought was not there before is beginning to pick up. So that's a shared responsibility that we as a community have. again, in the public sector and the private sector. I know the foundations do a lot of work around having young people come from around the country and partnering them up with nonprofits. I know the Cleveland Clinic has done a lot of work with young people who come into Cleveland in the medical field and who have made decisions to stay. University Hospital does it, Metro Health, Sisters of Charity. So it's a concerted effort that we have to do as a community. There's no one sector that can solve that problem.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor.
Afternoon.
I'm Joe Meisner, and I'm a member of the City Club. It's always a delight as well as a learning experience to hear you talk about our great city of Cleveland. My question pertains to education.
Right.
During the summertime, we have many young people who need to have a beneficial, worthwhile work experience. Mm-hmm. What can be done in order to help these young people so that their energies find a beneficial way of being expressed rather than sometimes a less beneficial way? Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, again, I have to say in the beginning, this is a community effort. And to lay anything on one sector of this community, we will never be successful. In the public sector, we do attempt to find monies through our workforce development. I know the county has been of great assistance to us to help find summer employment for young people. And how do we do that in a meaningful way? It really gives them the kind of experience that encourages them to do things as they move forward. So that employment activity is essential just to keep young people busy and also give them a kind of experience that will encourage them. But also, 2.5 months out of school is a long time. And so we are looking through our transformation plan as to how do we look at a longer school year or scheduling of the times off so that we don't have 2.5 months of downtime for students who have to then to catch up, and parents have to find a way of what am I doing with my kid when I'm at work and they're at home, those kinds of things. So I think having a year-round program for children, both in the educational side, in the work experience side, and also in our community side, what do we offer young people as businesses in terms of internships and to get them that exposure? What do we offer young people in terms of the public sector and those things that we do to keep people busy during the summer? Again, all these are community efforts, and that's what I'm trying to focus on today. There is no panacea. There's no silver bullet. This is work. It is what we do as a community to work. It's the opportunities that we have as a community to make the necessary change in order to have a better future. That's what this is about. It's not about I or them. It's about us. It's what we do.
Mr. Mayor, a new county government has been in place for a while now, and I'd be interested in your thoughts as to how the new county government is impacting the city of Cleveland, and also the broader subject of regionalism in the city of Cleveland and the new county government.
Well, the county executive, I think, has done a great job of getting control of the beast, because, these beasts have their own nature and their own inclination. And, there's no question that the county executive is the county executive. So I think he's done a great job in getting a hold of the beast. And at his county State of the County address, he began to talk about the plans of the county for the future that addressed the issue of regionalism and collaboration and things like that. So we get, but the success of this experiment will be more about the relationship than it will be about the legal or the charter side, because there's an inherent conflict and an inherent conflict when you have two governments over the same piece of real estate. So that's just natural. But so our success will be based on the abilities of those who lead the entities and the relationship of those leaders in regards to a common vision of the future. So the county government, I think, is moving in the right direction. The county executive is in charge. He's done a great job of stabilizing, and I think he's doing a good job of trying to redirect the beast in such a way that it would be productive. And we meet once a month, and we agree and we disagree, but we work together on things.
Mr. Mayor, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
If you had a magic wand, what could we do to help you transform our school district?
Support the transformation plan that I have proposed. And I'm going to say to you again, this is not about the mayor of the city of Cleveland. Look, let me tell you, all of what I talked about today in regards to this development and the billions of dollars underway or will be underway, all of the investments in downtown and the companies, the infrastructure work, all the capital things that we've done, even me as mayor, my position as mayor, I would trade that for a quality education for our children. I'll trade it all, even my position as mayor. And the reason for that is that I know that if we have educational excellence and quality education in our city, all these other things will happen. I mentioned Global Cleveland, and when people have choices in life, one of the major considerations they have when they make that choice is the educational system, not only pre-K to 12, but also the continuum of that education through higher learning and the expense of that. How do we, when businesses look where they want to locate, they look at a workforce, yes, but they also look at the opportunities for their children and how can their children get an excellent education and be less expensive to them. And when we talk about, I'm past this issue of charters in public. I'm past that. That's somebody else, that's like somebody having a fight on the side. They can just go and keep on fighting. I'm going this way because I'm past that issue. I'm past that issue because the issue is about quality education. And if we can partnership with quality educational systems, whether they're public or charter or private or parochial, and we can ensure the educational outcome of our children, we will make Cleveland a better choice for people. And we will ensure our future and ensure that our children have at least a beginning start in life. And that's the only way we can do it. So my focus on education is really about the future of Cleveland. And one personal note in regards to this. You know, I still stay on 38th and Central. Our family's been there since 1960. Whatever happens to Cleveland happens to me, it happens to my family. I have grandchildren and great-grandchildren who are in this system. And when their little buddies and friends come over my house, they're either in this system or they're in the charter system. And I have to look at them every day. Every day. And when I look at them, it becomes a very easy choice for me. And it takes away all the political considerations that may be involved in making those choices. Because as I've said to you almost every time that I've been here and I've been asked about education, it ain't that complicated. Just pretend it's your child. And when you do, it's a very easy solution because what you want for your child should be what you want for every child in the city of Cleveland. That's what this should be.
Mr. Mayor, I was wondering if you could comment on the current state of the safety and reliability of our water system, right, and maybe give us your objective, unbiased opinion of the efforts of certain suburbs to think about changing their source of water.
Objective and unbiased. Now, I'm gonna make an effort. I'm gonna make an effort. But look, the problems that existed at the water divisions don't exist anymore. Now, we had a problem with billing and customer service. Now, you can have a great product, which we have. We have one of the best water systems in the country. And the quality of that product is second to none throughout the country. But you can have the best system and the best quality product if you got bad customer service and things like that, you got a problem. You can have great customer service and mediocrity in terms of your product, and people think it's great. So our issue was around customer service and the billing. That has been fixed with help and really working with the Cleveland City Council, the Council President Martin Sweeney, and the chair of the Utility Committee, Councilman Kelly. We were able to bring in a turnaround team. That turnaround team has resolved all or most of the customer service billing issues. We are moving quickly into automatic meter reading technology, and the installation of that infrastructure will help us even more in being more reliable in billing and customer service. So in terms of those communities who are looking to go somewhere else, be honest with you, that's on them. Because we will move ahead and we will not share the cost of them disengaging our system with the rest of our community members. So there are financial obligations that they will have if they choose to go that route. Now, once they get there, again, the grass is always greener on the other side. And when the taste of the water is not as good, when the customer service is not as good, when the cost of that service begins to escalate much faster than it would under our system, then I'm pretty sure they'll want to be back. Now, those couple of communities that have indicated their desire to do that, I think that, how should I put this? I think we need to allow them the opportunity to publicly recognize the errors of their way. Yes.
Hello, Mayor. My name is Denzel Anderson.
How you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm speaking on behalf of Collinwood High School. There, I am the president over our senior class, president over student council, and current valedictorian.
And you are... And you're ROTC?
Yes, I only been in it for a quarter, though.
Okay, all right.
Me and my vice president back there, Chastity Jones, were speaking on behalf of education.
Okay.
At Collinwood High School, I don't know how the other high schools are ran, but I encounter staff members and students that tend to forget why we come to school. And I'm in an environment of education is not primary. So I just wanted to know, how can that situation be handled? And you know that in order to overcome something, we must understand it. But how can we primarily focus on education when education is not perpetuated?
Well, young man, I applaud you, and I appreciate your question, and I think you have identified the problem. Now, it is up to us, people in positions like myself and other people who are in position of leadership, to make the right decision in regards to you and the issue that you raised. That's why I cannot listen to people who tell me everything is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is not okay. We need systemic change. We need to reorient the culture as to how we look at education. And we need to drive that culture into the adults, the families, the children, and the community at large. Because if we do not do that, then what we will do is we will have the same old thing over and over again, and people will be talking about how everything is okay. Let me point out to you that I've been asked about my willingness to talk about the need for systemic change. And I've had people come to me and want me to prove that I'm still a good Democrat. And I've had people come to me and want me to prove that I'm still a good union supporter. And I've had people come to me to want to say, are you really a Republican in disguise? And so I've had all these things. Not one of those people have come to me and asked me about that child and whether or not that child is receiving the educational opportunities that they deserve. So we have to get out of this whole notion that we have a special interest in regards to this subject that is more important than what this young man raised. And that is, how can he receive the education that he rightfully deserves? And how can we as a community ensure that that happens? Is that it? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Today at the City Club of Cleveland, we've been listening to the 2012 State of the City Address by Mayor Frank G. Jackson. Thank you, Mayor Jackson. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This forum is now adjourned. That was great.
For information on upcoming speakers or for podcasts of the City Club, go to cityclub.org.